This is the Awake Athlete Podcast. I'm Jessica Mikowski, mindset coach, implant-powered athlete on a mission to guide all who are ready to great heights in sports performance and life. Through the 10,000-foot view, I share teachings of living awake with the sole purpose that we all realize our innate power to be the masters of our minds. Welcome to the final episode of Awake Athlete Season 5, The Interviews. I'm so grateful you're here with me to wrap up a season that I think has been nothing short of transformative, not just in the episodes that make this season what it is, but the way in which I approached this season, which was, no rush, patience, allowing the ideas to come of who to interview. And, I guess it's akin to when you're preparing food, right? If you're preparing food for your family or for yourself and you're rushed or you're feeling negative or angry, it's like that's going into the food. So same thing here. There's one thing about this podcast and the Yogi Triathlete podcast that I've always done is I've never touched an episode without being mindful. And what has happened over all these years, the Yogi Triathlete podcast since 2016 and Awake Athlete podcast since 2020, is that approaching these in a mindful way, in a patient way, in a way that I'm not feeling anxious or not good enough to put this out. It's like that pathway is paved. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's about mindset and the fact that we can pave new neural pathways, that we have outgrown belief systems that were set into place a long time ago. And it's okay to move into new belief systems. And the beautiful thing is when we recognize that our brain has that quality of neuroplasticity, we think, my gosh, why wouldn't I pave new pathways? So, this season, each guest has brought their own unique perspective to the table, sharing insights, tools, and stories that illuminate the profound connection between mindset, performance, and living a fulfilled life. And that means constantly flowing with who we are in a moment and where we are in life and the stresses that are coming at us and the joys that we're experiencing, and not holding on to things that no longer serve us. So as we close out this season, I want to talk about a theme that's been woven through every conversation we've had, finding out who we are and standing firm in that truth. Yoga teaches us that our authentic self or our true nature is already within us. It's not something we need to create or achieve. It's something we uncover by stripping away layers of conditioning, expectations, and false beliefs. And those false beliefs come from the false self, from the ego. I've talked about the ego plenty of times during these 5 seasons of the Awake Athlete podcast. But in ancient texts that are thousands and thousands of years old, yoga describes the kleshas, otherwise known as mental afflictions. And these mental afflictions obscure our ability to see ourselves clearly. One of the primary kleshas is avidya, or ignorance, which is essentially just forgetting who we are. The practices of yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and movement are tools that bring us back to our center. They remind us that our worth it's inherent, you guys. It's not tied to performance, approval, or external success. Because those things feel so good for a while, but they don't have the lasting quality of worth. And that worth, we must uncover that worth from within. We must become those archaeologists of self if we want that sustainable satisfaction in life, that sustaining love for ourselves, and the confidence that comes with really knowing who we are. And modern science supports this in powerful ways. Studies in neuroscience and positive psychology show that self-awareness, the ability to know who we are and what we value, is one of the strongest predictors of happiness and success. When we live authentically, we align our actions with our deepest values. which creates a sense of coherence in our lives. And when we look at what authenticity feels like, as I work with clients who are really like on the quest to knowing who they are and living in a way that's authentic to them, the first thing we want to do is we want to notice, create that awareness of where we're feeling ease in our life. These are pointers to our authenticity. This is when we are authentic. It takes no effort to be who you are. And this coherence, it's not just mental, it's physiological. Our brain and body systems function more efficiently when we're not in conflict with ourselves. As athletes, this truth is especially profound, right? Performance doesn't just come from physical fitness. We know that. It's deeply tied to mental and emotional alignment. When we train and race authentically, right? What is right for us, not what is right for other members on our team, not what is right for the one that always shows up to the race that we're always competing with. It's when we train and race authentically, what is relevant for us. And when we do that, we are not compromising who we are. And we're able to tap into a source of energy and focus that's impossible to access when we're living out of alignment. When we're efforting so much to be something for everyone. Authenticity gives us resilience. It allows us to adapt, recover, and grow through challenges rather than being defeated by them, right? A growth mindset that says everything is for me. And this thing that I'm moving through right now, which is so challenging, or I feel embarrassed or humiliated or less than, I know it's for me. And one of the greatest questions I ask often as I move through challenges in my life is, help me see what I'm not seeing. What am I not seeing here? Because this situation feels so doom and gloom, or I feel so embarrassed, or, insert here, whatever that word is. I must not be seeing what I need to be seeing right now. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. We need to let the mud settle before we can be clear. And in those times, it's like, go to the breath, get yourself calm, and hold the line as best you can, right? But here's the challenge. The world around us often pressures us to conform, to negotiate our truth for the comfort or satisfaction of others. I have experienced this many times. People thinking that I need to be sharing different things or more. And the thing is like, I get to choose how much I share. I get to choose, and so do you. You get to choose what you share. You get to choose who you are. Yoga and modern psychology both warn us against this pressure, succumbing to this pressure, because when we abandon who we are to please someone else, we create internal tension, a subtle but pervasive form of stress that can just zap our energy and undermine our joy. I know who I am, and I'm finding more and more out about her every day. And I fall all the time mentally, and I fall from an open heart. I do that. But I pick myself back up, and I put myself back in, and I turn in, and I move forward from there. And who I am, it's just, I'm not here to negotiate that with anyone. And that can be something that can make people upset, but that's okay. It has more to do with them than it does with you, right? Or in this case, with me. So how do we stay true to ourselves? First, we have to commit to practices that keep us grounded, right? When somebody says that we should be doing something else, but we're standing firm in what feels good for us, we have to be grounded. Otherwise, we're going to get really caught up. Otherwise, we are going to undermine our joy. Otherwise, we're going to have our energy just zapped from us. So whether that's meditation, journaling, mindful movement, or just simply taking time to reflect, nature is such a great place to do that. And second, by staying connected to our values, right? Like ask yourself, what matters most to me? How do I want to show up in the world? Who do I want to be? And third, surround yourself with people who respect and support your authenticity, rather than asking you to shrink or change for their comfort. And these people, they're not bad people. They're not bad people. But what they're asking, you don't have to do. You don't. And you don't want to do it with a cold heart. You want to do it with an open heart. Because again, when our heart is closed, we're out of alignment from our authenticity. So that's why we need those practices. But as this season shows us, the journey of discovering and embracing our true self, it's not easy, but it's the most worthwhile journey we'll ever take. And it's not just about us. When we live authentically, we inspire others to do the same. We create a ripple effect of truth, courage, and kindness that extends far beyond our own lives. So, above all else, live the demonstration. And I just want to take a moment to thank our incredible guests this season for sharing their journeys and insights so openly. Each conversation has been an exploration of mind and life, a deep dive into what it means to be awake and ready. These episodes are packed with wisdom, so if you haven't listened to them all, or you feel called to go back and revisit your favorites, know that they are here for you, ready to support your next steps. This has been a season about the science of the mind, the art of being, and the courage to live authentically. It's been a joy to share it with you, and I can't wait for what's next. I really don't know if there will be another season of this podcast. It feels complete right now, but I can keep going, as you guys know. But until then, remember, who you are is non-negotiable. Be kind, but be truthful. Don't compromise your authenticity for the comfort of others. Somebody said once, a good friend of mine, and I'll never forget it. She said, I can't suffer enough to end the suffering of another. And whoa, that took me a second to really metabolize. But I think that's what she was saying. She was saying, don't compromise your authenticity for the comfort of others. Keep moving toward your true self, and the world will rise to meet you. Thank you for being a part of Awake Athlete. I am so grateful for your listenership. I am so grateful for what you're taking away and putting into action. And let me know. If you want another season, I'm here for it too. Namaste. Are the messages in this podcast resonating with you? Is there a spark that has been flamed and a part of you that is craving more? Get over to yogitriathlete.com and discover how we are forging a new breed of athlete through one-on-one coaching, our squad community, and once-in-a-lifetime adventures to some of the most extraordinary places on earth. Being a member of Yogi Triathlete means you will be awake and ready for all that comes your way. So head over there now, because life waits for no one. So what are you waiting for?